So I showed you the other day that we put some excess meat that we couldn't get into our freezer into this cooler here. Now we got this cooler, I think, at Dollar General for maybe $20. I don't know, maybe $10. It's pretty cheap. It's an Igloo. It's a nice cooler, 50 quarts. That's not the point of what I'm trying to make here. We put all the excess meat in here that we couldn't get in the freezer because it's been so cold. We got down to 3 degrees one night, and so the meat froze. Well, today it's right around, I don't know, 35, 36 degrees. It didn't get below freezing last night, but the meat is still frozen solid. Supposed to get back down below freezing starting tonight, then it gets back up above freezing tomorrow, and then it's going to stay below freezing for a few days. So we're eating all that meat as fast as we can. We got lots of ham in there. The ham can last 5 to 7 days unfrozen. So we'll get that ham eaten, and then we'll start cooking. We've got some hamburger in there. We'll cook that up. The ham is sitting on the bottom. The reason we did that is because, for whatever reason, we have a layer of ice down at the bottom of the cooler, and that ice is sucking the coldness out of the ham. And we figured, since the ham can last so long, it's pre-cooked, it can last so long unthawed, that we'd leave it at the bottom, so whatever's drawing that cold out of it isn't drawing it out of the beef. So we put the beef on top of the ham. Seems to work out a little better. Again, do this at your own risk. We're doing it at our own risk. We know the risk, but I think we're okay. Nothing's really that bad of shape. And again, it's going to refreeze. Now, I used to believe, and I was proven wrong, that if something thawed out, that you couldn't refreeze it. And maybe that was true. Maybe they said that back in the 80s and 90s. I don't know. I've learned the FDA says you can refreeze things as long as it hasn't gone bad. So like if your refrigerator goes out overnight, power outage, you can refreeze that stuff. So I thought I would talk about food again. These videos are actually doing pretty good. I've been watching this doctor on YouTube. He doesn't practice anymore. He is a dietitian now, I guess. And he talks about the benefits of a meat diet. And he makes a lot of sense about the benefits of meat. He actually said today in one of his videos that these people who talk about vegetables and the vegetable diet, that was actually created by a religious community. It wasn't developed by any type of science. So they talk about the science of eating vegetables, but it wasn't created by science. I think it's fascinating. They can hear my voice now. They get excited when they hear my voice. I am not eating meat as a weight loss program. That's not what we're doing. Although it's a benefit of eating meat that you can lose weight. Atkins diet, they talked about no carbohydrates. The reason the Atkins diet failed, nobody does the Atkins diet, is because Dr. Atkins, died of a massive heart failure. But it turns out that he had some sort of heart disease anyways. Had nothing to do with his diet. But the vegetarian fanatics blamed that. And that's just the way the media portrays things. You got to do it their way. I mean, it makes sense why they want you to be a vegetarian. Processing food is a lot cheaper, if they can get you to eat it, is a lot cheaper than growing meat. Meat is very expensive and not very profitable. So if they can say, okay, stop eating meat, eat this garbage, and you eat the garbage, they make tons of money. I'm not suggesting you shouldn't eat vegetables. The doctor that I've been watching highly suggests that you don't. Just eat a carnivorous diet. He's even said that if you insist on eating vegetables, make sure it's greens, not corn, just greens. And I agree with that, spinach and green beans. But meat has all the vitamins that vegetables have. And meat processes better in your stomach. Your stomach is designed to process meat. It's high acid, just like a tiger or a dog. It's high acidic environment, processing all that food, all that meat. Vegetables don't process. Corn doesn't process. We all know that. I mean, think about it. Corn goes right through you. So why are we eating it? You're not getting hardly anything out of it. Oh, you need the fiber. Well, I'll go along with that. Maybe you need some fiber. So what Carolyn and I have been doing is we're eating lettuce. That's a green. And we put ham in it. Well, I'll tell you, I've lost a lot of weight. But again, not doing it for weight loss. Because eventually, if you start exercising, you'll start building muscle mass. And I've noticed my arms and my stomach is getting more muscular. Didn't know this, but I did this in the past too. Around 2008, when the economy went broke, I told you that they're flying. I hope you got that. I don't know what made them all fly. We were financially scrapped. The recession really killed us. And so we started eating goat meat, lambs, and pig. We bought a pig from the farmer's auction, and we had a bunch of goats, and we were eating just pretty much meat. My wife and I both lost a lot of weight, but then it started turning into muscles. I mean, my arms were stout, and I'm not a big guy. That was pretty impressive for me. I've never had big muscles. And then, of course, we got back into a regular job and got regular money and regular grocery shopping, back to regular grocery shopping. And I went back to being a big pile of mush. No eggs right now. That's odd. Oh, Carolyn may have picked some up earlier. A lot of people talk about the keto diet. I don't know. I guess it's a good diet. I mean, I've not really paid attention to it. But again, it's a low carbohydrate diet, high meat diet. And I'm not trying to follow a diet. I'm looking at the science behind meat, eating meat. Humans have been eating meat for forever. And then we have some religious group tell us that we can't eat meat. And then say follow the science. I mean, it's just a big game, big con. And so Americans are, if you look at other cultures, countries, I think it's Hong Kong, the highest meat consumers in the world. They have the longest lifespan. I think it's Hong Kong. Don't quote me. But they have the highest lifespan, the healthiest bodies of everybody in the world. They eat meat. But if you listen to the scientists in the United States, they should be like dead at 30. Again, I am not telling anybody what to eat. This is what I'm eating. I'm just telling you why I'm doing what I'm doing. And if you think the science is there, then you should go check it out and do what you want. Ask your doctor. But I don't have any faith in doctors. Now, I will say that. But I have been following this one doctor. But he even says, doctors are not telling you the truth. If your doctor is saying doctors are lying to you, it's worth listening to. I would much rather eat spaghetti, noodles, high carbohydrates, but I found it's not worth it. Carolyn and I were talking today. We wonder if carbohydrates are somehow addictive. We went to Subway the other day, went grocery shopping, and we thought I would stop at Subway to save her some little time. I got a chicken sandwich, but the bread, and both of us thought, man, I'm just not feeling the bread. I'm just not into it. We ate a piece of bread, I forget where else, and it had that same kind of yucky taste. This is after months of not eating bread. Well, what we wondered if our bodies had gotten unaddicted to the bread. I mean, I don't have any science to prove that. I'm just telling you what we experienced. Maybe they actually put stuff in the bread, or bread they know is addictive, so they sell it to you. It's cheap, it's easy, and they make $1 million off of it. I'm confused by people's mentality. I recognize I'm on YouTube, and there's a lot of people believe that if you're a public figure, that they have a right to attack you personally, tell you what to do, slander you. And some people will say that's the First Amendment right. I'm not sure that I agree with that, but let's assume the Supreme Court said that if you're a public figure, people can talk nasty about you and it's perfectly okay. Well, first of all, there are higher powers than the Supreme Court or any government official who doesn't agree with you. If you want to come on here and slam me on my diet choices, just remember you're judging people, and that's not a good idea. But okay, let's address this. Guy comes on and says that, and he was talking about Atkins and how he died of a heart attack, and a meat diet is a terrible thing, and you need to stop providing misinformation and telling people what to do. Just like in this video, I've always said, follow your doctor's advice, do whatever you want. I'm not spreading any misinformation, just telling you what I'm doing. So I replied back. I didn't ask for your advice, and I called him a doctor. I called him whatever his name was. Let's call him Riddle. I think his last name was Riddle. Dr. Riddle, I didn't ask you for your advice. And if I do decide that I want advice on my diet, I will ask a real doctor. You know, one I can see face to face, not some YouTube commenter who I've never met that thinks I should follow his directions immediately or he's going to report me to YouTube. I don't know why everybody thinks that reporting me to YouTube is going to make any difference. It doesn't. I'm not breaking any of the rules. If you're really concerned about breaking rules on YouTube, you should read the rules on YouTube. You're actually breaking the rules of YouTube by falsely reporting me. That's the truth. You can be kicked off YouTube, your account suspended, if you falsely report a content creator. But again, I am not trying to tell anybody what to do, how to eat. You eat what you want, but I'm telling you, this lifestyle is really changed my health. I feel it. I've talked about my breathing, and I've got some recommendations on that. And that's the thing, it's the difference between telling me what to do and that you're gonna report me to YouTube, and a guy emailing me and says, hey, I'm not a doctor, don't know anything about it, but here's a vitamin that I've seen. Do your own research. Didn't even provide a link. And so I went to Amazon, I typed it in, did tons of research on it. Carolyn looked it up. And so we bought it. You know, it was like $5. So I got another channel I'd like you to check out. It's a little comedy channel I've been trying to develop. It's growing pretty good. I'll put a link right here on the screen. I'd really appreciate it if you watch it. So I hope I can inspire you to do your own research so you can live healthy. Thanks for watching.